Welcome, everyone, to University Stadium, home to the Lobos of the University of New Mexico, and the fans here are fired up for this clash. Today, a pair of Pac-12 teams getting set to square off in a game that could have season-long implications. As we'll see, the winners of 4 straight, the Charlotte 49ers, taking on the New Mexico Lobos. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, here with David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's get this thing rolling. And the 49ers will kick it away to start. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. So New Mexico's offense will have the football first. And they are coming off a sensational performance led by this quarterback who's hoping he can build on things, Jesse.
Well, I know, having played the position, when you have a big game, you just can't wait to get back out there again and build on that performance. David, last time out, he was making the...
Intercepted, and the first drive ends with a pick. Got room on the return. And they capitalized not only on the pick, but the great return to give the offense tremendous field position.
That is the perfect start for a defense that has really struggled against the pass this season. They're in the bottom portion, okay? Have struggled, but opening drive, making a statement. Maybe this creates some momentum. Maybe this turns the tide for this defense.
And the sudden change magnified for this defense as it's 1st and goal. Try to barge their way in. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Charlotte. When you're handed a break with unbelievable field position like that, you better finish the deal, and they did.
You saw the quarterback jog on the field. I think he gave a high five to every one of those players coming off that just put them in position to go score that touchdown. That QB knew this was a golden opportunity, and boy, he took advantage of it.
And the PAT makes it 7-0. That's exactly what you want to do when you have that type of field position. Strike quickly, and they did. One play, and they put it on the board. And he'll bring it back. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. Let's see what the Lobos offense has in store. Well, the good news about this drive, Jesse, it can't go worse than last time through a pick on the first play.
No, it certainly can't. I think one good way, David, to help your quarterback turn the page is just find him an easy completion here and let him get back into a rhythm.
Yeah, or find him an easy handoff. Just hand the football off, maybe get the ground game going, maybe jumpstart this offense a little bit.
From the gun, running back gets to give. Runs through a tackle. A little more space, open up that playbook even more as they pick up the first down out to the 30.
Defense gives up the pretty big run. They get the first down, and listen, you got to reload quick now because this offense, they got their foot on the accelerator.
Oh, he drops the football. He had him right down the gut of the field. Instead, it'll be 2nd down. They go to the ground. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Tight end in motion, see how the D reacts. Unloads to the wideout. Intercepted, a first-half turnover can swing momentum. Didn't have a lot of room to run after the pick, but he's done his job. They have it at the 44. Charlotte will send the offense back onto the field. Already a solid start to this one. Now back to work with this 7-0 lead. Makes the catch. And a good job of coverage by that defense. Just a short pickup. Offense gets set for 2nd down. Off play action. And the defense picks up a sack, getting the quarterback down at the 44.
And really good job getting to the quarterback. That's priority number one, trying to get pressure on him, get him to the ground as a bonus. They had 6 sacks in their last game. They got to keep building on that number if they want to keep stacking wins.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On third down, he'll try to pick it up through the air. Makes the grab on the left. He's pushed out of bounds inside the 40 at the 38, and these guys are on the move. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. The 49ers have it with a 1st and 10. He'll pull it on the read. He's going to lose a yard on that one. After losing a couple on that last play, here's 2nd and 12. Tight end now in motion. He'll do it himself. His junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain. Now facing a 3rd and long. On the option. He'll toss it. He did not make it a stone wall on 3rd down. Now on 4th down, they'll try to come away with 3. Everything will have to be clean from 55 yards away. He splits the uprights. And now the lead is even bigger.
And 3 more on the board, and this kicker is starting to get a reputation starting off the season. Hasn't missed yet. Nice to have a guy that you can really, really depend on.
Out of the end zone. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. Now New Mexico will go back to work on offense. They've spotted them a 10-0 start. Now to see if they can answer on this drive. Makes the tackle at the 30 after he picked up 10. The Lobos want to pick up the tempo.
And how about that? Right after they get the explosive play running the ball, they're going right back to the line of scrimmage for some tempo.
And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play.
That's a fantastic play by the linebacker. He has such tremendous instincts. As soon as he sees run, he's coming downhill. He's got great speed. He gets you on the ground. That's why...
Dashing the knee on the right. And the explosive play, and they're on the move all the way to the 44. Got it done in the passing game on the last play. Let's see what they do on 1st down. Wants to throw on 1st down. He's got an open man. There he goes. Brought down at the 20-yard line after ripping off the big play. Timeout called by the defense. It's their 1st of the half as they'll make some adjustments. A productive play is one that gets you at least halfway to another 1st down here on 1st and 10. Quarterback on the keeper. He'll be pulled down after a good run. They'll mark it at the 15. After trying the running game, let's see if they do it again on 2nd down. Looking to fire. Grabbed over the middle. It's Jennings. That completion will take it close to the 5-yard line. They'll mark it at the 6. With the run on 1st and goal. Relentless, tough running gets it down to the 4. Now the offense tries to punch it in on 2nd and goal. He'll keep it himself. Knocked down behind the line of scrimmage, he'll lose a yard. And now after getting knocked back, they'll try it again, this time from the 5 on 3rd and goal. From the gun, wants to pass. Takes a hit as he fires. Touchdown, New Mexico! Fitted in the window for the score.
That is tremendous toughness there by the quarterback because he knew he was going to get drilled. He hung tough in the pocket and delivered a strike for the touchdown.
PAT unit on the field. And with the extra point, the lead is cut to 3. It's 10-7. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Gentlemen, let's take a look at what's happening in a terrific top 15 matchup. Kennesaw State is in the unusual position of having to come from behind right now, but there's not a soul who doesn't believe they can't pull this off. It's a touchdown game. They're trailing by 7 to UTEP.
A little screen to the running back.
It wouldn't be the ACC if there weren't this kind of storyline, guys, and we promise to keep you posted.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. And the 49ers now with a long way to go to pick up the first down. He's got it on the right. The defense wouldn't let him loose, and even though it's a completion, they lost yardage. On 3rd and long, no secret what he needs here. Got a man, it's Smalls. They'll move those chains, getting it out to the 29-yard line and trying to get this drive rolling. Makes the grab. And just a short, safe pass play. They pick up a few. Wide receivers everywhere on 2nd and 6. Wants to go up top. He'll off one deep down the left side. It's caught. Slippery slide. Find his way and ran away from the crowd into the end zone. Touchdown, Charlotte.
You know, sometimes as a play caller, you just don't have to overthink things. I've got a guy who's faster than your guys, and he's just going to run straight down the field. I'm going to throw it way down the field. He's going to make the catch, and we're going to score a touchdown, and that's pretty much what just happened there.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And with the extra point, they're now up by a touchdown and a field goal at 10. They're getting set to kick it away, and that last score took a little oomph out of this crowd. On the run from inside his own 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. We will get another look at this New Mexico offense. Using his legs, it's Knight. Big time play by the defense. He'll lose 4. A negative play to open the drive. Let's see what they've got on 2nd and 14. Back to pass. Fires to the middle. He's got it. He's loose down the middle. Running inside the 20. Touchdown, Lobos! And once he found open space, the band might as well start playing.
And tight ends do so much for your offense. They block like crazy. You pull them, you use them all over the place. And when you got a guy that can do this, it's just the cherry on top of the sundae. Making big plays, going half the field plus to get the big touchdown.
Lining up to add another. And it's up and good as they draw just a touch closer. They're ready to kick it away, and this crowd is buzzing after that last score.
New Mexico, 14.
And he takes this from inside the 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Charlotte has the ball back. The 49ers offense will return to the field. Already going back and forth, and they have a 3-point lead up 17-14. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball. 2nd down, they'll go to the air. And the quarterback goes down at the 11-yard line.
And don't get it twisted. A big part of this team's formula for success defensively is getting after the quarterback. In their last game, they had 6 sacks, won the game. They know they've got to be able to get after the QB, and this one put some pressure on them, and they're already off to a great start.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On 3rd and long, a check down would be the last resort. They're working that left side. He is denied. Cannot get to the first down marker, and it's 4th down coming. Punt is on its way. He will signal for the fair catch and take it just inside the 35. This drive will get underway from just inside the 35 at their own 34. Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. Didn't put much on that one, and it's incomplete. They're dealing with a 2nd and long. After the incompletion, they go back up top. Moving out of the pocket. Only a couple there, and now staring at 3rd and 8. And the Lobos want to move quickly. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to throw for it. And it slips through his fingers, incomplete. That would have been a huge gain if he could have held on. First one's on its way. The leg ought to be strong. Only called on twice in the victory last week. And the punt team able to smack him to the ground. RPO complete to open the drive. He finds enough room to get it up to the 28-yard line before going out of bounds. While we're only through one, these quarterbacks have been lighting up their stat line. Now, I'm not going to argue if this production keeps up as we start the second. So 2nd down here as we're back at it after the break. Here's the handoff. Breaks into the open. Nice pickup on the ground there, and they'll move the sticks with the first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. He'll pull it on the read. And that's a very productive first down play in bringing up 2nd and 3.
2nd down coming up.
Looking to fire. He lets it fly. And a big play on the left sideline. Excellent awareness to get that foot in bounds. Really effective concept against the zone there, and it helps all the more, David, when you have a tight end that can get downfield.
No doubt. Take your tight end, put him in the slot, makes it easier, better matchup. Now he's got a good corner route. You can tell. Sticks his foot in the ground, quarterback puts it up there. Know he's got zone, know he's got the big fella. He goes up, catches the football, makes the big game.
2nd down, he'll throw it. Gets it out fast. They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks. A manageable distance on 3rd down as they try to convert from the 20. From the gun, wants to pass. Here comes the rush, and they've got him wrapped up at the 28.
And they've been waiting for something good to happen with respect to getting after the quarterback, right? They're outside of the top 100 in the country in sacks per game, but finally now you see they're generating this pass rush. 3 sacks on the game so far.
They'll play it safe and try for 3. And after putting an earlier field goal up, they'll try it again, this time a 45-yarder. And the kicker delivers the 3 ball to finish off the drive. That pushes the lead to 6 at 20-14.
And he knocks another one through. And how about this kicker? Good way to start off your season, right? Like, what do you have at the spot? Sometimes you don't know. Can he make those kicks? Starting off, hasn't missed one yet. Been very dependable for this squad.
Here he comes from inside his own 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. Let's see what the Lobos offense has dialed up this time. Out of the chute, quick toss to the right. Quick throw, but he's not going anywhere. The defense was all over it.
And this offense gets nothing done on that play, but look at them. They're continuing to run this tempo. They want to try to do something to get a spark going to create a big play.
This defense has kept them backed up. Now one more stop, and they can get off the field on 3rd and long. Fires to the right. It's caught downfield. And he gets it done on 3rd down. They move the chains, and they'll mark it at the 44.
And it's on third downs like this. If you want to attack the middle of the field, you got to look for the tight end. Really nice route. Great job looking that football in. You can tell this quarterback really has a lot of confidence when he's in the pocket looking for the big.
Oh, he wants it all. Hits him in stride at the 10. They get him down with this offensive setup. First and goal from the 9. He's brought down at the 7-yard line, and they are threatening to take it in. The Lobos come to the line in the hurry-up. He'll do it himself. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. Now third and goal, and tough yardage to cover here. From the gun, wants to pass. And the quarterback is knocked down back at the 13.
This is a good sign for this defense. The rate they were going, not touching the quarterback, him already having 2 touchdown passes in the first half, this was not going to be a fun football game to watch. Now they're turning the tide a little bit, getting a little bit of pressure, getting a sack.
And the field goal unit is on the field. Dead center perfect. The lead down to just 3, 20-17. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Fellas, while we have a moment, let's peek in on what's going on in a big one in the American. Penn State has the lead right now inside Beaver Stadium, but Happy Valley is a tense place right now. This is a tight game. They're up by a field goal over Tulane. We'll circle back. If anything big happens in this clash in the American, you should know about.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. The RPO, it's complete. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that first down marker. Quarterback keeper.
You know, this offensive line, they just got to hold their blocks a little bit longer. This offense likes to run their quarterback on design plays, and if you can just give him a little crease, he can take it the distance, but they couldn't get it done there.
He'll make a play on third down. He's got enough for the first as they mark it at the 32. The 49ers come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Power football with the run. It's a fumble on the play. Scoops it up, still a live ball. I don't know if it was luck or aggression or just a fortuitous bounce, but at least they've got the ball back.
Well, one thing I do know, Reese, this running back has got to do a better job with ball security. You cannot turn the football over and expect to win this game. They're very lucky they were able to jump on top of that.
They've got to come up with a big play on this third and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Fires to the wideout. And a missed opportunity on third down as the defense knocks it free, and fourth down is coming up. And the 49ers decide to punt it away. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. Fair catch is signaled and made, and they'll go to work from the 27-yard line. Let's see what the Lobos offense has in store. Always good to get points on a drive, David, but chip shot field goals can leave you a little empty.
And I think it's great to get points, but the great teams get touchdowns in the red area. You got to get out there this time and execute a little better on this drive.
You're absolutely right, David. And generally, the best red zone offenses are the ones that run the ball the best. So let's see if they can be a little bit more physical on this drive.
Nice job by this defense creating that negative play. That's what all defenses want to do. But look at this. This offense.
And the pass rush is effective, and they tackle him at the 19.
This offensive coordinator has got to find a way to slow down this defensive end in the 4-3 scheme. You might want to start thinking about double teaming him with a tight end, maybe using a running back on some chips to try to give your quarterback more time.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. Quarterback on the keeper. He's not going to make it. What a job by this defense to stop him in his tracks. And the Lobos will punt this one away. 3 and out, and not much choice but to get rid of the ball. A fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. No reason to be in a big rush. They have some time here late in the half. From the gun, the running back tries to hit the hole. Creating some space, getting just enough good blocking, and they've got it up to the 47-yard line. We've reached the 2-minute timeout, and they'll talk it over to see if they can build on this lead before halftime. Gives it to the back on the draw. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. The 49ers come to the line on 3rd and short, trying to keep the drive alive. Safe completion on the screen. That'll be enough for the first down as they stop him at the 43-yard line. Passing game kept this drive moving. Let's see if they try it again. Looking downfield on first down. Complete to the right. Brought down at the 20-yard line after ripping off the big play. From the red zone, looking for a space. He's got it and still on his feet. Touchdown 49ers! And they add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house.
And they trust their QB to execute like they have the whole first half, and he delivers, and they build on this lead and build their momentum going into halftime.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And with the extra point, they're now up by a touchdown and a field goal at 10. They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. He'll start the return inside his 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. So let's see how they play it in this final 30 seconds of the first half. He wants to start this drive with a pass. The quick out. Brought down at the 31. It is a first down. We've got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. Complete to the left. The offense calls timeout. It's the second one they've used this half. It'll be a first down from the 49-yard line. Wants to go up top on first down. Sends it downfield. And they weren't able to make the connection. They were looking for an explosive play. Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on second down. They'll throw again after the incompletion. And he really needed to hold on to that one, but it was not loose, and third down is coming. Running out of time here in the first half, they're going to have to be efficient to put some points on the board before the break. Under fire. Catch in the middle, it's Jennings. Gets it all the way down to the 39-yard line. It'll be a first down. The offense calls a timeout to stop the clock. And in the closing moments of the first half, they'll try to put a 3 spot on the board. Splits the uprights from 56, and he's got 3 on the board. We've played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Guys, looks like you've got a great atmosphere today in Albuquerque. And this has just been a passing clinic, really, by both offenses. They've effectively stretched these defenses, forcing the secondaries to cover every blade of grass, and they've still racked up big plays. Man or zone, pick your poison, or lay some blame at the feet of those pass rushers who can't do anything against the maulers on that offensive line. And with that, let's send it back to the guys at University Stadium.
The Lobos will line up to kick off and start the second half. On the move from inside his 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. Charlotte will send the offense back onto the field. They start this third quarter with the lead, but they might want to think about shoring up that protection.
Yeah, the good news is you're leading on the scoreboard. The bad news is your quarterback doesn't feel like it because you can't protect him. So, David, adjustments in pass protection, that has to be something they were talking about here at halftime.
100%. Just you can't get him hit that much. He's still doing a good job delivering the football, but if you keep hitting the quarterback enough, man, they'll start to see ghosts, they'll panic, and they'll make some of those mistakes.
Now the play fake. Quickly complete. Hauled down at the 38-yard line and a big pickup of 15 yards there. Plucks it out of the air.
And there you see the bind that the RPO play can put a defender in. That linebacker had to make a decision. Was the running back going to get the ball? He thought so, so he bit up, and that allowed the slant to be thrown.
Turning it on. Really good job by everybody there. Well blocked, good run, and a first down. And the 49ers pounded the rock to move the sticks. Now back to work. Off play action on first down. Makes the grab. Big guy tries to barrel in. Goes out of bounds just short of the goal line, and they'll be set up and in great position here. He'll keep it himself. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play. And lost ground on first down. Now 2nd and goal from the 5. The run up the middle, looking for the score. And he'll be stuffed. Got nothing. Line of scrimmage still at the 4. They worked it down to the 4-yard line, but now it's 3rd and goal. Trying to set up the screen. Absolutely nowhere to go as this defense makes a 3rd down stop. So here comes the field goal unit. They've been doing work today. They've already made a couple. And he missed it. No good. And the margin remains at 7 after the miss.
And that's just the chip shot. That's just a field goal they got to make, guys.
Now New Mexico will go back to work on offense. Hold it, finds his man on the left. And this one will be stopped for no gain. And the Lobos are in the hurry-up.
Well, the defense didn't have a lot of time to celebrate that last big play because here's the offense right away back at the line of scrimmage, ready to roll again with tempo.
Finds the tight end. And the big fella couldn't elude the cornerback who makes a sure tackle. They'll try to move the chains on 3rd and short from the 25. They'll go to the air. Caught in the backfield, it's Knight. At the 35, he's got room. And he gets it done on 3rd. And they move the chains and they'll mark it at the 40. The Lobos will snap it on 1st and 10. Back in motion, try to clear the picture. Wants to keep it in the air. Just a short pass to the tight end. Found enough room to get it into enemy territory. They're down at the 43-yard line.
All right, defense, you got to turn the page. You just gave up an explosive play through the air, but here comes the offense going quickly. You got to get lined up now and get ready for another one.
And the defense forced that incompletion with the deflection. What will they dial up on 2nd and a long way to go? The give to the running back from the shotgun.
Definitely been tough sledding for this guy, especially in the first half. They gave him the ball a bunch, but they just don't have a ton of yards on the ground to show for it at this point. That looked like a pretty good run, though. You just wonder maybe in the second half, if they keep giving him the football, it may start paying some dividends.
Trying to burn this defensive back. Oh, he had it. The deep ball was there, and it just trickled through his fingers. And the Lobos will try to pick it up on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Finds his tight end. He's not going to get there. Stopped short on 4th down.
Huge loss on the play. Offense is stopped. Will be in turnover.
They'll start this drive going to the air. Going over the top. And the physical play there forces the incompletion on 1st down. Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. Wants to go up top. Throws to the wideout. Finds a man in the middle. And perhaps a touchdown-saving tackle as he gets him down at the 37.
You can tell this quarterback did his homework coming into this game. He has been dissecting this defense with his arm and his mind. Over 300 yards passing now.
Off the play fake on first down to throw. Working the middle. Brought down at the 21-yard line, a 15-yard pickup, and they are in prime position to get points now. Got a man. They pick up half of it. It'll be 2nd and 5. The 49ers have moved it inside the 20.
Near the 16-yard line. Brings up 2nd down.
Red pass, it's complete. The stop is made, but this offense is threatening 1st and goal from the 9. Grabbed behind the line. It's Smalls. Tight end trying to get in. Touchdown, Niners. A great catch and run for 6.
Well, when you've got a quarterback that has this type of ability, there's no question what your strategy is going to be week in, week out, right? They want to throw the football. They want to hurt you with their ability to push it downfield through the air. 3 passing TDs in this one already.
They'll try to add another to their lead.
For the extra point.
And they did tack on the extra point. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
A pair of top 15 teams throwing haymakers today. Let's show you the very latest. Kennesaw State is in the unusual position of having to come from behind right now, but there's not a soul who doesn't believe they can't pull this off. It's just a field goal game. They're trailing by 3 to UTEP. Never know what's going to happen in the ACC, and we'll circle back if anything develops. Fellas?
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final.
And nice job being gap sound by this defense. And here you go. Watch what this offense does. They'll get right back on the ball, and they'll go really quick, so you got to be prepared.
Fires to the right. And they won't be able to connect downfield, looking for a big-time play. And this offense can ill afford to come up empty on this drive, already trailing by multiple possessions. He's got him this time. He's going to have enough to pick up the first down as they stop him at the 33-yard line.
Well, the defense makes the tackle. They give up the first down. They've now got to communicate the next play call. They can't substitute because the offense is going fast.
And the defense snows him under after a very short game.
Well, the QB decided to keep it on that one. And listen, if you had his athleticism, you'd want to keep it too. Almost every time they run these types of option plays. But he's just going to have to do a good job of understanding when to hand it off, when to pitch it, try to keep this defense on their heels and read his keys. He's got a lot of talent. Just got to make sure he's making the right decisions moving forward.
In the gun and looking to throw on 3rd down. Got the quick pass. They are ripping off chunks of yardage. They get it to the 33. The Lobos moving quickly to the line.
A nice passing game by this offense. The quarterback and the receiver on the same page, in time, in rhythm, creates the big play. And look at them. They're right back on the football, ready to run another play.
Yeah, I don't know if the quarterback got confused on first down. He might have thought the defense was going to be in man coverage that time, but they were in zone. They fooled him and just didn't seem like he had his eyes in the right place, was forcing that ball to his intended target. The window way too small. The guy was not open, so that didn't have that chance to be complete.
On 3rd and long, he has to throw for it. Grabbed in the middle, it's Jennings. They've got it just outside the red zone. They'll move the chains. It's at the 21.
This quarterback has just been one step ahead of the defense all game long. Great job with his decision-making. He's now got over 350 passes.
Pressure is on the way, and the pressure has arrived, and down he goes at the 30.
2nd down coming up.
And you want to talk about his favorite receiver, it might be everybody, based on the number of guys getting touches and a chance to show off their hands in the passing game. As we start the 4th quarter, it'll take a pretty sizable comeback to win this one. It'll be second down as we open the final stanza. They'll move the tight end. Wants to fire on second down. Grabbed in the backfield. It's Knight. He's brought down, but he went backwards after that completion, not the way they had it drawn up.
Brings up third down.
On third and long, hoping to throw beyond the sticks. Fires to the big fella. What a play by this defense, and they stop him short. It'll be fourth down. And this kicker is turning into old reliable. He's already knocked through a couple today. Just drives it between the uprights. Now the lead is down to 11.
And this guy has been a machine all season long. He is absolutely automatic. You know you're getting 3 points when this guy jogs on the field.
So after putting 3 on the board, the kickoff team is out there ready to boot it away. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. Charlotte has the ball back. The 49ers offense will return to the field. Off the play fake on first down. And that will be incomplete. Man, that would have been a big hitter if they could have done it, but second down coming. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. To the air on second down. Hauls it in.
I love an offense that wants to stay aggressive. Even when you've got the lead late in the game like this, right, you still try to find your playmakers and get them the ball in space, and that is exactly what this offense is doing.
You don't even see quarterbacks under center very often, but when you do, and it's short yardage, you kind of know what's coming, but it didn't matter. Quarterback does a great job. Find some space, keep those feet moving, just fall forward and get that yardage, and he gets the big first down.
Complete. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short game there. Now on second down. Back to pass. Finds space on the right. Oh, a lot of space. Touchdown, Charlotte. He got a step and just dusted the field. That'll give him a little more breathing room as they try to push this winning streak to 5.
There's no mercy rule in college football, man. They've got a huge lead here in the fourth quarter. They are still chucking it, and they are still scoring.
Getting set for the point after.
On for the extra point.
And now with the extra point, they're up by 18 here in the fourth. Kickoff unit getting some extra work as this lead has really grown.
New Mexico, 23.
On the run from inside his own 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. We will get another look at this New Mexico offense. They're going to have to be more aggressive in this drive. You can't expect to win this. Oh, he's got some space. Solid run, picks up 6 and gets it to the 28. And the Lobos want to crank the tempo.
I like this idea by the offense going hurry up here. You just had a very nice run. Let's get back up to the line of scrimmage and go fast.
Off the play fake. And the pass is incomplete thanks to a big hit. The Lobos come to the ball trying to pick up this third and short. They'll try to pick it up on the ground. At the 45 on his way. And they're getting it rolling with that play to the 42-yard line. This offense lines up feeling awfully good after that big play. Use the play fake, now to throw. Complete to the left. They knock him down, but he's got enough to get it across the line and pick up the first down.
And there's no quit in this team. Obviously, they're trailing late in the game, but they're trying to make it happen. We've seen 2 big plays now, back-to-back. They're putting pressure on this defense.
All kinds of room to throw that one in there. Couldn't quite nudge it in. Not sure you could get much closer, but it'll be first and goal. Trying to punch it in. He steps and powers and works his way. They finally get him down at the 2. Second and goal for the offense. They're going to run it. Touchdown, New Mexico! How about this back staying on track and getting it in on the option? Follow the blockers. The offensive line will take you to the hallelujah land.
And I tell you what, most of the time, Reese, it requires a little bit of skill to find that hole and slither through a little crack. That was not a crack. That was wide open. Didn't take a lot of vision because the blocking was outstanding.
And the extra point is good. They marched 79 yards on the drive. They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them.
New Mexico, 30.
And he's going to bring it out of the end zone. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. Charlotte will send the offense back onto the field. They'll send the tight end in motion. From the gun, the running back looking for room. Defense there to stop him after a gain of 1 to the 22. After picking up a couple, it's 2nd and 8. Off the bootleg and rolling out. He finds a soft spot in the middle. Good call, good execution as they move the chains and they have a first down at the 38. He'll pull it on the read. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. They'll run play action. Caught over the middle. It's Smalls. And he's brought down after a nice gain. And the 49ers are flying down the field. Looking to throw on first down. Lofts one high and deep. And they took a shot on that one but couldn't make the connection. It's incomplete. Clock is under 4 minutes as they come to the line for second down. They keep it on the ground. Clock is their friend.
And I know you can play these late game situations differently, but I love when you just stay physical. You run the football, you preserve the lead, you got great field position, you're in a great position to salt this clock away and get a W.
He didn't quite make it to the sticks, and it'll bring up a fourth down from the 42. The 49ers send out the punt unit. They'll look to pin him deep. The punt goes out of bounds, and a nice job to get them backed up. I think they'll spot it right around the 15. Let's see what the Lobos offense has dialed up this time. Got it in the middle. It's Beebe.
This is the moment for this offense to put a drive together. It doesn't matter what's happened up to the point of this game, but you're trailing right now. You got to put some points up on the board. This is where all 11 guys need to be playing together as one.
Got it in the middle. It's Knight. Good job running that route to get past the sticks because he got nothing after the catch.
And that's a really good job by the QB, getting the ball out of his hands, knowing where the sticks are, getting the first down. And they saw something they like because here they come, right back on the ball to run another play.
Snagged in the middle. It's Knight.
Well, look, this quarterback has struggled a little bit in this game with interceptions. Maybe he was being too greedy early on. That time made a real good decision. Now, I'll tell you what, that's a nice catch by the running back because that ball's in the air a long time. You're throwing it all the way out to the flat like that. He looked like a receiver making that catch and getting extra yards.
Under fire. Didn't have much of a choice there but to get rid of it. And the Lobos come to the line on third down trying to keep this drive alive. Wants to throw again. Catch in the middle. It's Beebe. He gets those chains moving, gets it out to the 42-yard line. The Lobos will hustle to the line. They absolutely had to have that third down to keep any glimmer of hope alive.
And defensively, that's exactly what I want. Make you get the third down. The clock is your enemy. Multiple possession lead. That is right where I want this offense.
Just an obvious holding call there and one that just kills an offense's momentum. He's looking to throw. Pocket breaking down. The 2-minute timeout arrives, and we have certainly seen miracles in college football, and they will certainly need one here. They're about to run a dirty half-dozen plays on this drive. Going to swing it on second down. Got out of trouble, got rid of it. Fires to the tight end. Out across the 45 and out of bounds at the 46-yard line, a big pickup here as they try to put together a scoring drive. Quickly out to the tight end. They immediately call timeout, trying to preserve every second they can to try to rally here late. Wide receiver comes in motion. Off the play fake on first down, wants to throw. Right on the money. The defense wouldn't let him loose there, and it was a completion, but they lost yardage. Trying to get everybody set with the clock still running. They'll go to work in the air on second down. Grabbed over the middle. It's Knight. Knocked down for the tackle. IndyCar tempo as they head to the line for this third down play. Clock running. From the gun, wants to pass. It's complete on the right side. The offense gets a quick timeout at this point. Every second is precious. To the air on first down. Catch in the middle, it's Jennings.
And that's exactly what this defense needs to do. The clock is your friend. Try to keep them in bounds. No big plays, and let that clock just tick.
Back to pass on second down. Grabbed in the middle, it's Knight. The ball is down at the 14 after that grab. Clock stops momentarily for the first down. They'll hurry to the line. It'll be second down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring.
Brings up second down.
Second down, they'll go to the air. Fires into the end zone. Touchdown, Lobos! A Lazarus-like comeback is underway.
If we had any chance to make this happen, we had to score with a little bit of time on the clock. Now we need a miracle. Now we need to kick the onside, get an onside kick, and somehow, some way, make a big play.
Obvious thinking here. Get the two-point conversion now, and all you'll need is a field goal to tie. He'll set up to throw. He makes the catch for the two, and now they're down by just a field goal. The clock is just inside 50 seconds to play. If they don't recover the onside kick, this one is all but over.
Yeah, and this is why you put your hands team on the field most of the time. When you know it's coming, and you put those guys that are great catchers of the football. The first guys, what do? They go block. They go blow somebody up. The next guys catch the football, secure it, get your butt on the ground. And most of the time when you do this, the ball game is over.
It came down to the final quarter. Clutch plays, guys delivered, and they get the close win.
Yeah, Reese, big-time players make big plays in big games, and that's what happened in this circumstance. As a coaching staff, David, you love this. You know that you have confidence in your guys to go out and be able to execute when it matters the most.
Correct, and you don't know until the games, right? You don't know when those moments present themselves. How are they going to handle it? Great job handling a close game, executing down the stretch like they needed to.
That's going to do it from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and you've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.